After the dawn, marked by a fragile triumph in the fortress hall, the Space Wolves realized that the true ordeal was only beginning. The victory over the specter of betrayal had been but a brief respite in the endless maelstrom of war with chaos. The wounds from recent battles pained not only the body, but also the soul, and the echoes of fallen brothers reverberated in the warriors' hearts, a constant reminder of the price of their valor.
Grimnars, who had battled his own inner demons, gathered the remnants of his strength and led his company toward hidden passages that descended into the dark depths of the ancient fortress. His intuition whispered that within these cursed walls lay the source of the Blight, an ancient, insatiable evil that spawned new horrors. Accompanying him was Tormag, still scarred by past treachery, and a handful of loyal warriors willing to lay down their lives for the honor of the Emperor.
Descending the narrow stone steps, worn by the dust of centuries, the company entered a labyrinth of subterranean catacombs where the darkness was denser than death itself. The air was heavy and reeked of decay, while the cold walls seemed to absorb the last remnants of light. Every step echoed in that tomb of forgotten memories. And in the gloom, the Space Wolves felt their own fears and doubts seeping into the very fibers of their being.
In one chamber, illuminated by the dim flicker of wavering torches, Tormag suddenly halted. Before him, a sinister tableau unfolded. Ancient symbols carved into the stone began to pulsate as if reciting the words of an age-old prophecy. A ghostly whisper, elusive and spectral, spread through the hall, beckoning each warrior toward either redemption or damnation. In that moment, Tormag saw a vision, a silhouette reminiscent of a long-lost comrade, slain in battle yet twisted by darkness. The apparition awakened within him the painful realization that every warrior carries not only courage, but also the burden of loss and mistakes.
Hearing his quiet exclamation, Grimnars placed a steady hand on the young fighter's shoulder and declared, "The road we tread is paved with sorrow, yet we may choose light even in the deepest darkness. Do not let the phantoms of the past shatter your heart, Tormag. Together, we shall cleanse this corruption and defend the Imperium from the evil that seeks to break through the cracks of reality." Soon the company emerged into a larger hall, where the walls were inscribed with ancient ritual symbols and the floor lay strewn with the remnants of forgotten sacrifices. It was there they encountered their first new adversary, a creature torn from the very seams of stone arches, woven from shadows and nightmarish visions. Its eyes burned with malice, and its voice, like the echo of the dead, pierced straight to the soul. The beast lunged, and a brutal clash ensued, a desperate struggle for life.
The battle in the underbelly was no less sanguinary than those fought in the open. The Space Wolves fought fiercely against these malevolent spawn of chaos, manifestations of old sins and lost faith. Every swing of a sword and every burst from their plasma weapon reverberated through the catacombs, shaking the ancient walls with the wrath of primordial forces. In that hell on earth, where time itself seemed to stand still, the warriors felt their spirits tested, each fallen brother leaving an indelible scar on the collective heart of the Legion. Grimnars, fighting with the ferocity of a desperate guardian, understood that the essence of this battle was not merely the annihilation of evil, but the quest for inner peace. His mind wavered between memories of the fallen and the fierce determination to triumph so that their sacrifices would not be in vain. He fought as though his very soul were tempered in the eternal flames of war, each movement of his blade a testament to the unending struggle between light and darkness.
In the midst of the fray, from the depths of the catacombs emerged yet another formidable presence, a tall, featureless entity cloaked in darkness and ancient malice. Rising above the melee as if the master of these accursed halls, it fixed its cold, disdainful gaze upon the warriors. This was no mere spawn of chaos. It was the guardian of an ancient conspiracy, a key to a primordial power capable of shattering reality itself. The ensuing duel with this entity marked the climax of their trials. With every explosion of plasma energy, every crash of shattering stone, and the agonized cries of their foes merging into a final warlike symphony, Grimnars and his brothers-in-arms fought with every ounce of their being. They knew that the outcome of this battle would determine not only the fate of the fortress, but the future of the Imperium. Amid the chaos, the forces of light and darkness intertwined, and it seemed as if the very universe held its breath.
At long last, after a grueling struggle, Grimnars and his company delivered a decisive blow. The entity shattered into a maelstrom of dark particles, its presence dissipating into a void of despair, leaving behind only the echo of its final wail. Yet the victory was incomplete. The threat remained, sealed within the cursed runes and lingering shadows that held more questions than answers.
Standing amid the ruined halls, exhausted yet unbowed, the Space Wolves heard a quiet call to further duty. Grimnars raised his blood-stained sword and with a voice heavy with resolve proclaimed,
We have won here, but our battle is far from over. Every corner, every crack in this accursed place harbors the seeds of future evil. We must seal this abyss so that its darkness may never again seep into our world.
With these words, the company, enveloped in the silence of both defeat and determination before the ancient menace, prepared for the next phase of their mission. They knew that around every corner, new trials awaited them and that the cost of victory was ever steep. Yet, in the name of the Emperor and for the honor of their fallen, the Space Wolves pressed onward, ready to confront any evil, even if it should rise again from the depths of the abyss. Deep within the ancient catacombs, where the stone walls still harbored the echoes of the fallen, the Space Wolves Company discovered an entrance shrouded in the dust of ages. A colossal door, inscribed with ancient symbols and runes, glowed with a grim, ominous light. In that moment, Grimnars felt something ancient and relentless stir within him, a call emanating from the very depths of oblivion.
As they approached, faint sounds arose in the silence of the corridors, a whisper of 100 voices echoing and beckoning them into the unknown darkness. Tormag, gripped by a deep sense of foreboding, realized that behind that door lay not merely another evil, but the very essence of chaos itself, primeval and all-consuming. The realization quickened his heartbeat and sent tremors through his arms as the premonition of an inevitable battle took hold. Summoning every ounce of resolve, Grimnars led the company beyond the threshold, and the world around them began to warp. Space itself seemed to twist into a chaotic vortex where reality merged with nightmare. They found themselves in an immense hall where time appeared to have frozen, and the walls exuded the malice of oblivion. Before them loomed an ancient portal, encircled by runes that flickered with fiery glints. Its energy was overwhelming, seeping into their very souls and making their blood run cold.
From the dust of time, a vision emerged before them. The visage of the Emperor as he once was, now twisted and bitter, stained by the agony of betrayal. This apparition served as both a warning and a challenge, a sign that the gates of chaos might open at any moment, and that the fate of the Imperium hung in the balance.
Suddenly, from the depths of the portal, legions of shadowy armies emerged, dreadful, unknown creatures born from the abyss of chaos. Their wails, reminiscent of the lamentations of lost worlds, echoed through the hall, and the company found themselves at a crossroads to engage in battle here at the threshold between worlds, or to retreat and leave the gates open to the enemy.
Grimnars gritted his teeth and bellowed, "For the Emperor! Today we shall prove that even the abyss itself cannot break our will."
His voice, sharp and resolute, reverberated off the ancient walls, banishing fear and filling the warriors' hearts with unyielding determination.
The battle erupted with the fury of a cosmic storm. The Space Wolves, indomitable and fierce, clashed with foes whose horrific wails and malevolent shrieks echoed like the cries of lost worlds. Every swing of a sword, every burst from their plasma weapons rang out across the hall like a sacred oath to the Emperor, stirring memories of those who had fallen in endless warfare.
Tormag, still haunted by the specters of past betrayal, fought not only against the external enemy, but also against the demons tormenting his soul. With every clash of his blade against a shadowy form, he felt a surge of vengeance and determination, refusing to succumb to oblivion and darkness. His hand, though trembling from exhaustion, never released his weapon, for he knew the cost of defeat was eternal wandering in the abyss of chaos.
In the midst of the battle, when it seemed the enemy's forces would overwhelm them, the magical energy of the portal intensified. Fiery vortices and deadly sparks swirled around the warriors, as if chaos itself were summoning new servants. Yet the space wolves, fueled by righteous fury and unwavering faith, fell their foes one by one, their strikes echoing like a vow of eternal loyalty.